Hey everyone, welcome to another Vallejo and WizKids basic set painting tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to be covering woodland creatures. That is those creatures, beasts, and familiars that you find in the wilds of the areas that your adventurers live in. We'll be covering brown fur, specifically for bears and those sorts of things. And then two-tone fur for wolves and related creatures. Strap in, here we go. For the Woodland Creatures basic set, we're going to need some Vallejo brushes, primarily a number 1 and number 2, and a dry brush, some water for washing your brushes, some paper towel, and a paint palette. To start with the brown fur, we're going to use Heavy Sienna. This is one of Vallejo's extra opaque paints, which go on in one coat. Then we're going to use a black wash once the base coat is completely dry to add depth and shadow to the miniature. We're going to want to dilute it slightly with some water so that it flows nicely. Then, by adding some Beastie Brown to our brush and then wiping off most of it on a paper towel, we're going to use a dry brush technique across the texture to add a highlight. We're then going to do that with Parasite Brown as well. Finally, we're going to do a final highlight of Khaki, and this will be the extreme highlight, so only on the highest edges that would catch the most light. For two-tone fur, we're going to start with a base coat of Khaki. This is not an extra opaque paint, so we're probably going to need 1 or 2 coats for this. Once the Khaki is dry, we're going to go ahead and use an umber wash. We're going to want to dilute it slightly with some water so that it flows nicely, but we're going to make sure we manipulate it into all the recesses before we add the black wash. Now, for the black wash, we're only going to focus on the top half of the animal. In the end, we're probably going to need to add 2 coats of this black wash so that it's a bit more opaque. Then we're going to take some Khaki, and using the dry brush technique, we're going to highlight all of the fur, and then we're going to use some off-white to highlight the highest edges of the fur.
Thanks for watching this tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed it. When you're done painting your miniatures, make sure that you tag Vallejo, WizKids, and Realmsmith in your social posts so we can see what you came up with. And also make sure to check out the other amazing technique sets and the starter sets in the WizKids Vallejo paint line. We'll see you again soon.